Hello and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kanwal. The big political chakravyuh debate tonight. Is Rahul Gandhi trying to unite the nation as he claims or divide India as is the charge of the BJP? That's my top focus on the news track tonight.
आपके चक्रव्यूह से निकलने के लिए जो आपने बनाया
New chakravyuh in Budget Mahabharat. Caste Census, MSP and Agniveer.
आप अपने आप को देशभक्त कहते हो, मगर जब अग्निवीरों की मदद करने की बात आती है, जवानों को पैसा देने की बात आती है, तो बजट में आपको 1 रुपया नहीं दिखाई देता।
Rahul breathes fire at Prime Minister and Finance Minister.
21वीं सदी में सर एक नया चक्रव्यूह तैयार हुआ है। स्पीकर सर वो भी लोटस की शेप में है सर, और उसका चिन्ह प्रधानमंत्री जी अपनी छाती पर लगा के चलते हैं। इंडेक्सेशन जो आपने कैंसिल की वो पीठ में छुरा था, और जो कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स आपने बढ़ाया वो छाती में छुरा था।
BJP counters with Gaurav Congress jibe. Explosive budget showdown. Big focus on news track.
Let me take you through the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Big Parliament showdown over the budget. Rahul Gandhi claims budget did not address the issue of tax terrorism. BJP accuses the Lok Sabha leader of opposition of mocking the speaker and insulting the constitution. Probe into Delhi flood deaths intensifies. 5 accused sent to 14-day judicial custody. Delhi police sends notice to the MCD, asks who is responsible for the drainage system. Blame game erupts over Delhi's killer apathy. Ruling Aam Aadmi Party claims BJP allowed commercial activities in basements during their tenure. BJP demands Atishi and MCD mayor's resignation. Political murders rise in Tamil Nadu. 3 netas murdered in 48 hours. Opposition questions Chief Minister Stalin on the state of law and order in the state. Quad leaders meet in Tokyo, send out a message to China. Calls for respecting sovereignty, territorial integrity of nations, says no country should dominate others. The political Mahabharat over the budget is raging. Now Rahul Gandhi has created a political chakravyuh by bringing in the caste census, MSP guarantee for farmers and Agniveers into the mix. The leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha said that the budget of 2024 ignored 75% of India and was for the benefit of big business. Government ministers stood up to counter Rahul Gandhi while he was levelling these charges, saying that Rahul Gandhi did not know the rule book and that he was totally factually incorrect. Here's the big political face-off tonight.
One element is financial power. The second element is the agencies, CBI, ED, and the third is the political executive. Speaker sir, these three together are at the heart of the chakravyuh. Indexation जो आपने कैंसिल की वो पीठ में छुरा था, और जो कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स आपने बढ़ाया वो छाती में छुरा था। सर देश का हलवा बट रहा है सर, और इसमें 73% का एक है ही नहीं। सर ये आप लोग हलवा खा रहे हो और बाकी देश को हलवा मिल ही नहीं रहा है।
Rahul Gandhi's scathing criticism of the budget triggering an all-out showdown in Parliament.
वो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा।
From Lord Shiva to now the Mahabharat, Rahul had a chakravyuh message for the government.
अभिमन्यु को चक्रव्यूह में फंसाकर ट्रैप कर 6 लोगों ने मारा। तो जो चक्रव्यूह होता है स्पीकर सर, वो लोटस के शेप में होता है, कमल के फूल के शेप में होता है। 21वीं सदी में सर एक नया चक्रव्यूह तैयार हुआ है। स्पीकर सर वो भी लोटस की शेप में है सर, और उसका चिन्ह प्रधानमंत्री जी अपनी छाती पर लगा के चलते हैं।
Rahul claimed the Modi government has betrayed farmers, the middle class and students with the budget.
जो अन्नदाता हैं वो इस चक्रव्यूह से निकलने के लिए उन्होंने आपसे सिर्फ एक चीज मांगी है, दो चीजें नहीं मांगी है, सिर्फ एक चीज मांगी है। उन्होंने कहा है कि हमें लीगल गारंटीड एमएसपी देगा। आपने उनको बॉर्डर पे बंद कर दिया, रोक दिया, आज तक रोड बंद है। इंडेक्सेशन जो आपने कैंसिल की वो पीठ में छुरा था, और जो कैपिटल गेन्स टैक्स आपने बढ़ाया वो छाती में छुरा था। फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने बजट में एक शब्द नहीं कहा है। युवाओं के लिए पेपर लीक सबसे जरूरी मुद्दा है, उन्होंने एक शब्द नहीं कहा है पेपर लीक के बारे में, सिर्फ अदानी और अंबानी।
Rahul repeated his Adani-Ambani taunt, which prompted a reprimand from the speaker.
जो दो लोग हैं सर, ये हिंदुस्तान के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को, बिजनेस को कंट्रोल करते हैं सर। सर इनके पास हिंदुस्तान के धन की मोनोपोली है। तो सर मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूं इनके बारे में मैं इंडिकेट कैसे करूं, इनके बारे में बोलना तो पड़ेगा सर। अगर आप हमें कहो कि इन दोनों के बारे में आप बोल ही नहीं सकते तो वो तो हमारे लिए एक्सेप्टेबल ही नहीं है सर, हमें तो बोलना है। अब आप चाहते हो कि नाम ना ले तो कोई और सिस्टम दे दीजिए हमें।
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Rijiju then attempted to intervene, sparking a fierce face-off. Rahul did not stop there. He then questioned the composition of the budget team, prompting Nirmala to show her exasperation.
ये जो बजट का जो हलवा है सर, ये बट रहा है। और इस फोटो में सर मुझे एक ओबीसी अफसर नहीं दिख रहा, एक आदिवासी अफसर नहीं दिख रहा, एक दलित अफसर नहीं दिख रहा मुझे। ये हो क्या रहा है सर? सर देश का हलवा बट रहा है सर, और इसमें 73% का एक है ही नहीं। सर ये आप लोग हलवा खा रहे हो। सेना के जवानों को
Rahul's Agniveer comment got Minister Rajnath Singh up on his feet too in objection.
पहली बार सेना के जवानों को आपने अग्निवीर के चक्रव्यूह में फंसाया। सही बात। इस बजट में अग्निवीरों के पेंशन के लिए 1 रुपया नहीं है। आप अपने आप को देशभक्त कहते हो, मगर जब अग्निवीरों की मदद करने की बात आती है, जवानों को पैसा देने की बात आती है, तो बजट में आपको 1 रुपया नहीं दिखाई देता। उनकी पेंशन के लिए 1 रुपया आपने नहीं दिया।
यह इतना संवेदनशील मुद्दा है इस देश की सुरक्षा का, और सेना से जुड़े हमारे अग्निवीर के जवानों को लेकर जो देशवासियों को गुमराह करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, उस संबंध में मैं कहना चाहता हूं जब भी आपका आदेश होगा इस सदन के समक्ष मैं पूरी तरह से अपना अग्निवीरों को लेकर स्टेटमेंट देने को तैयार हूं।
एक मिनट, चलिए।
Lok Sabha witnessed a stormy 30 minutes during Rahul's speech, and all eyes now will be on Nirmala's retort on Tuesday. Bureau Report, India Today.
और बाकी देश को हलवा मिल ही नहीं रहा है।
So, Rahul Gandhi's charge is that the BJP has developed a political chakravyuh and that the youth, small, medium enterprises, the poor farmers are trapped in this chakravyuh. The BJP's counter is that Rahul Gandhi is dividing the nation by talking about caste census, by trying to make Agniveers face off against regular soldiers. All his actions are insidious and that they seek to divide India. Rahul Gandhi says, I'm trying to unite India. Now, this is a political debate. There is no yes, no, right answer, wrong answer. There are different perspectives, and I hope to bring those out on this broadcast. I want to welcome Chetan Bhagat, the well-known author. He's written a column this weekend where he talks about Rahul Gandhi making a comeback. He'll explain that, squaring off against him. We have Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sanjay Jha is with us on this broadcast, and Rajat Sethi. I want to go across to Chetan Bhagat first. Chetan, you've got this article out where you're basically saying Rahul Gandhi is making a comeback from inept Pappu to Khatakhat Neta. The BJP says no, he's actually playing a very dangerous game. He's trying to divide India. Modi tries to unite India, Rahul's trying to divide India along the lines of caste, along the lines of class, and that this is dangerous. From your perch at this moment, do you want to explain why you've gone from being a supporter of Prime Minister Modi, that time Chief Minister, when you first came out in his support, now thinking that Rahul Gandhi is making what you believe is some kind of a comeback?
Okay. Firstly, they're mixing up two things. I'm being an analyst. More than anything, I love being an analyst. The only person I support is myself. Let me be very honest, and it's very fun to analyze rising political brands and falling political brands. So when I said in 2011, I wrote a column saying the rise of Modi is inevitable. The entire Congress supporters trolled me very badly. That was the time you couldn't even mention PM Modi in English media. Like, you could not mention, because it was just like a person non grata. And here we are, he's in his third term. So firstly, I'm not coming from sometimes I'm wearing the analyst hat, and the analyst hat simply tells what is happening in the country. And I think it's of some value to people, because a lot of people reacted to it, commented on it. And I think it's of very high value to BJP as well, because I think somewhere down the line at the top levels of the BJP, the messages are not reaching. Chamchas have become a hard, thick crust. And the bigger the chamcha, the louder the voice, the lower the IQ usually. And, it is really causing a lot of damage to the brand of BJP, which has honestly, like the election results have shown, taken a hit. Now, Rahul's rise is very astonishing, because Rahul, by the way, that "kaun sa Rahul" comment, which is being used a lot, is nobody mentions that much that the other Rahul is there. The "kaun sa Rahul" was Rahul Kanwal or Rahul Gandhi. There was a genuine confusion. But abhi kaun Rahul kar diya usko. Anyway, I think the three main reasons. Firstly, Rahul's personality, Rahul's entire personality has totally changed. And I don't know how. I've come on studio in election results, and I personally admit I had very little hope from him, because he was not even coherent. He would say one sentence, he would start some high level thing, and 5 seconds later he's lost everybody. And that's just the art of oratory, conversation, which we all felt he just doesn't have it in him. And some people have it and some people don't. But lo and behold, it's changed. And I don't know whether it's new fitness regime or supplements or good advisors, but I think it's a lot to do with him being authentic. He is no longer scared to be himself. He is no longer trying to impress. He's just talking to express. He also takes on very tough topics like religion, which taking on the BJP, BJP pura Hindu Samaj nahi hai. That's a big one to take. I mean, that's BJP's territory. And if you miss a beat on that one, you'll be hammered. And the BJP did try to hammer him, saying he's attacking all Hindus and all. But largely, he got away with that whole Shivji ki, taking out a Shivji's picture in parliament. I mean, that is not something you would have ever expected a Congress leader to do. But he did it, and it worked. It got traction. We live in the times of reels. We live in the times of YouTube shorts. It got traction. It went all over. And that's the game, man. Whether it's good or bad, separate story. The second thing I think Rahul Kanwal, is that the people are receptive today. Rahul has been trying. Rahul Gandhi has been trying for a long time. But the people of India were in a thrall. They loved it. We all felt in 2014 that something big is going to happen. That was the promise. There is such a stable mandate. There is such a strong leader. There is such a mood to decisively do things. India is going to be different, man. I mean, India is going to be, everybody's going to progress. There's going to be massive GDP growth. It's a Hindu nirvana happening. And that 5 years later, okay, let's give another chance. It takes time, things don't get fixed. And things were slowly eroding, and people were saying, this is not the way things should be done. But you know what? Let this government do it. They know what they're doing. The things will be done differently. But in the end, there'll be something amazing. Now 2 terms ended. And now you have all this Agniveer and paper leaks and political allies and other parties, people coming here. It's like any other good old-fashioned Indian
let's
politics.
Unpack what you're saying.
I'll take 20 seconds. And that has led to people being receptive to somebody else. Otherwise, they didn't even want to listen to Rahul Gandhi. So Rahul is also Rahul Gandhi is also right place, right time. That matters a lot in politics. He's just at the right place last time. And my last point in the column is that the BJP has helped Rahul a lot, because Rahul Gandhi needed every hero. We write stories, right? Every hero needs an arc of redemption, where a hero goes, fights a battle, and like destroys and like finally survives to live the day. Now, earlier, if your image was that Rahul is a pappu, pappu means non-threatening, he's just nothing, he's inconsequential, NPC, as they call in video games, non-playable character. Now, suddenly, you're trying to disqualify him, cases, all these things, and he fought all that. Beghar kar diya, ghar se nikal diya, accounts frozen, all kind of things happening, and it's almost you gave him the narrative arc to become a hero. So the BJP did some help there. He should thank them too. So these three things have made it all happen, that Rahul is firing now and it's working. So I don't see even how BJP supporters can disagree with that.
Now let's take it one by one. You were saying the audience is more receptive. You know, what data sets do you have to try and prove that? In Uttar Pradesh, for example, where the India Alliance did well, is the coming together of the Yadavs, the Muslims and the Dalits, and some non-Yadav OBCs.
Rahul,
how do you arrive at this conclusion?
Rahul, first you tell me your Mood of the Nation polls. Your Pew survey said he's the most popular Prime Minister in the world, 73% approval rating. Then why the election results were like this? Why did the 400 par not happen? Something is definitely there. Why are the Rahul Gandhi videos getting 10x the views on Instagram? These are early indicators, right? The article is fun because it's predicting things early. When it becomes fairly obvious in the election results, there is nothing to write anymore. What I'm seeing is there are enough signs to tell you the budget. Okay, maybe has such a budget not come before? A little bit increase in taxes there, but look at the negative backlash on it. What is happening? Have you seen in the last 11 budgets this kind of backlash? And it's not that different a budget. It's not even that bad a budget, but it's happening like this. So this is, are we not seeing this? Are the BJP supporters also not seeing this? I am very curious to know.
No, because the BJP's charges, some of these are divisive ideas. For example, the caste census. The moment you make people more conscious of their caste identity, it furthers schisms in society. Rather than try and unite people, you're actually furthering the divisions, which is easy to do because you're sitting in opposition. His job is not to govern, but to criticize.
And the BJP has never tried to do any vote bank politics ever. I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, I want to know. India is divided. India has communities. India has different groups which want different things. Somebody wants a reservation. Somebody wants these things. Now, it is not one against the other. If you go out there and represent them, and that's why how BJP came to power. Hindus were not being heard. 3 or 4 very genuine issues, temple, whatever, 370, all these things were there. And there was a political opportunity there. He's using the political opportunity. Ethically, is it good or not? Is it a moral argument now that Rahul Gandhi is not being really moral and ethical here, which the BJP is making? That we can debate that. I can't argue that he's being moral or not, but is he doing well politically? That is the first question. No, is it working or not working? अच्छी बात कर रहा है या बुरी बात कर रहा है, वो असूल के खिलाफ है या नहीं, वो अलग बात है. अब ये बताइए काम कर रही है चीज की नहीं कर रही, उसका फॉर्मूला वर्क कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है.
How do you know it's working? I mean, in Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Haryana, we will have some indication because ultimately the Congress only ended up at 99 seats. The BJP has 240.
It's working because we are discussing it today on your show. We didn't have these shows 1 year back. It's working because of that. It's working. We are actually considering this.
No, so you say that he would earlier lose his audience. His personality seems to have changed. You're calling his rise astonishing. How do you think he's done it, and why do you think he's been able to pull it off?
Like look at it right now. When he went in the parliament, when he showed that picture of those people giving out the budget, he was blacked out. The visual was changed. For 1 second only, he managed to show it. On your TV screen, you froze that visual. That's exactly what is happening in Reels and Instagram all over the country right now. It worked. It did the job. The more you take the camera away from it, the more people want to see it. Isn't that the rule? Isn't that how it always works? ये मत देखना, साड़ियाँ देख लो, ये वाली हम आप नहीं खरीद सकते. क्या करते हो आप साड़ी की दुकान में? सर वही वाली दिखाओ ना. I mean, he's playing the game well. And I mean, we have to acknowledge that, right? And that is how BJP can counter it. My aim is both the parties do their best, bring out their best. But if the BJP says, no, this is not how the game is played or whatever, dude, if he's going to gain traction, what are you going to do? Right? How many views is his videos getting? Look at the comments on his tweets versus on BJP leaders' tweets. Has it changed or not? Are people telling me that there is nothing? You can say that he's misleading people. That's fine. That I'll give you that. That is your view. I don't know him. Maybe this is what he's doing is not the most pious way of doing politics. Maybe BJP does it better. But ये तो बताओ कि काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा.
So Chetan, I want to pause what you're saying for a moment.
Yeah.
We've heard you. I want to come back to you in a while once we've heard some of the other reactions. But I want to hear now from the other speakers reacting to what Chetan is saying. And Sanju Verma, this is important because Chetan is, at some level, he's been a strong supporter of Prime Minister Modi, then Chief Minister Modi. And Rahul spoke about it today, that the middle class, he claims, to some extent is now disaffected, wanting to turn against. This hasn't been the case so far. And even the Finance Minister spoke about it in terms of the pushback. Some, as you know, from within the caste of BJP supporters. Now, you want to respond to some of what you've heard, that his rise is astonishing, he's getting 10x the views on social media, that the BJP has helped him redeem himself by going after him, and that the audience, and Chetan Bhagat is an influencer, right? So you can agree, disagree, he's putting his views out there, and he can get attacked, he can get supported, but that's the point he's making, and he's had very different views in the past around these two personalities. So how do you look at this as a BJP spokesperson? Sanju Verma.
Rahul, you gave some 7 to 8 odd minutes to Chetan Bhagat. I hope I will get at least 5 minutes without being interjected. First and foremost, the last successful book of Chetan Bhagat's, without being offensive to him, was way back in 2014, Half Girlfriend. And his books have been made into successful movies like Three Idiots, etc. But unfortunately, I think Chetan Bhagat, in terms of articulating his thoughts, is well past his prime. And I'm not being an ageist here. I'm simply saying that, Chetan Bhagat is looking for relevance. Chetan Bhagat is today the underdog because nobody remembers him. His last few books have failed. And he's decided that, he's going to walk over to the other side. He will speak against Modi. He will speak for Rahul. और लोग तालियां बजाएंगे और बोलेंगे वाह क्या बात की है चेतन भगत ने. But anyway, he's entitled to his opinion. I say free speech is something that everybody is entitled to. Let me speak on hard facts. I will not speak in the air and make castles in the air, that to flaky ones like Chetan Bhagat. Oh, Rahul की 10x ज़्यादा views हैं YouTube पर. Oh, Rahul Gandhi ने देखो कैसे Hinduism पर बात की Parliament के floor पर. Chetan Bhagat, these are some hard facts for you. I have been an investment banker, and I hear from what little I know of you that you were an investment banker too. Before you decided to turn an author, you were successful, and now you are again knocking on the doors of failure. The GDP in absolute terms was barely $2 trillion when Narendra Modi took over in 2014 as the Prime Minister. Today, it's close to $3.9 trillion. We've added almost another $2 trillion in just 10 years, which is phenomenal by any yardstick. Point number 2. Let us speak of some other numbers. The bank NPAs in terms of percentage was 11%. Today, it is 0.6%.
Okay.
Infra spending per year was 1.57 lakh crore between 2004 and 2014 annually. Today, the annual infra spend is between 36 lakh crore and 44 lakh crore. The wealth created in the 10 years of Manmohan Singh / Sonia Gandhi's kitchen cabinet was 13 lakh crore. The wealth created in the last 10 years of the Modi regime has been 320 lakh crore.
Okay.
Forex reserves today are at an all-time high of $670 billion. We were not even close to $300 billion under Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi's incompetent regime. We were in real GDP terms at the 10th position under Manmohan Singh, a so-called economist. Today we are the world's 5th largest economy, having overtaken the United Kingdom. And most importantly, since you spoke of the middle class, wait Rahul Kanwal, wait. Since Chetan Bhagat spoke of the middle class, I always say ये जो ऊपर हवा में बात करके numbers देने का कोई मतलब नहीं है. आम आदमी, let us break it down for him in a language that he can comprehend and he can understand. Today, Rahul Kanwal, you can check these numbers because I never throw data out of my hat. I speak facts. India sells 20 lakh motorcycles every month. India sees 5 lakh scooters being sold every month. India sees 1 lakh tractors being sold every month.
Okay. You made your point, Sanju Verma. I get the drift of what you're saying. I'll come back to you for more later. Okay, 20 seconds. Just 20 more seconds, yes.
I did not even speak for 5 minutes now, Rahul Kanwal.
20 seconds, ma'am.
Yes, don't rush me, I heard you. Chetan Bhagat, now listen to this. The world's largest financial inclusion scheme, Jan Dhan Yojana, with more than 53 crore bank accounts opened under Narendra Modi's regime. The world's largest health insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat, with more than 34 crore cards given, Ayushman cards thanks to Narendra Modi. The world's largest sanitation scheme with more than 12 crore toilets built, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, thanks to Narendra Modi.
Okay, so you had your 20 seconds. I want to go back to Chetan Bhagat to respond what you heard from Sanju Verma. You were attacking BJP supporters. She's saying Chetan is seeking relevance. His books are not selling. He's seeking relevance. That's why he's looking to switch to the other side. Chetan Bhagat.
मैम मैं किसी साइड नहीं स्विच करा. मैंने तो शुरू में भी कहा कि I'm just being an analyst. As an investment banker, you should know when an analyst analyzes a company, he's not a supporter of that company or not supporter. He's merely giving a temperature check कि वेदर टेम्परेचर क्या है. पहली बात, आई थॉट यू न्यू दिस. ऑल्सो आपको पता है मेरा कैरियर कब पीक करा कब नहीं करा. मुझे आपके केस में तो मुझे ये भी नहीं पता आपका कब पीक करा और कब नहीं करा या अभी कर रहा है. आई डोंट नो.
दिस विल गेट वेरी पर्सनल.
इट्स नॉट रेलेवेंट ना, बिकॉज़ मैम वो रेलेवेंट नहीं है ना यहाँ पे. नहीं मैं तो कह ही नहीं रहा. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि हम तो जिस मुद्दे पे बात,
you're well past your prime in terms of
ma'am, I will never lose my.
Ma'am, Sanju ji, let him speak one at a time. I'll come back to you. Let's have some decorum on this debate. Let's have some decorum on the debate. Otherwise, how will we do this? Yes.
एक मिनट, आप अपने पर्सनल बात कर ही लिया तो मैं आपको बता देता हूँ मैं कैसे देखता हूँ उसे. रेलेवेंस मैम सिर्फ पता नहीं आप किस चीज से मेजर करते हो. आई एम अ फादर, आई एम अ सन, आई हैव चिल्ड्रन. लाइफ में रेलेवेंस बहुत चीजों से आती है मैम. एक चीज ये याद रखना आप, ठीक है. तो और दूसरी बात ये कि मेरी अभी बुक आई थी फरवरी में, 11 Rules for Life, #1 बेस्ट सेलर है. I still get highest paid author in India. I'm still #1 in all my, books. I have 5 publishers who are saying "Kab agli book likh rahe ho." I have so many contracts lying around. I mean, my investments have done really well. God has given me so much. और आज भी बहुत है. I don't come on India Today so much because I'm sorry they can't afford me all the time. Rahul, you know that. I went to another channel for the elections because वो हिंदी में थोड़ा ज्यादा budget होता है उनका, so they can afford Chetan Bhagat. I came today because Rahul is a friend of mine and I cannot say no to him. तो इसके लिए मैं आया हूँ. तो मेरा रेलेवेंस क्या है नहीं है, मेरी राहुल कनवल से दोस्ती है, उसकी रेलेवेंस आप नहीं समझ सकते, उसकी वैल्यू आप नहीं समझ सकते, ठीक है. और प्रेमचंद भी लेखक था, उसकी बेस्ट सेलर कब हुई होगी. तो आज प्रेमचंद रेलेवेंट नहीं है. आप बोलेंगे कि वो महान लेखक नहीं है. हाँ, रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर अब लेखक नहीं है क्योंकि उनकी तो बुक लेटेस्ट. ऐसे नहीं सोचते मैम, ऐसे नहीं सोचना चाहिए. आज हम बात कर रहे हैं स्पेसिफिक मुद्दे की. नहीं, मैं आउट ऑफ लव कह रहा हूँ मैम, ऐसे कोई बात नहीं है. मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ, मैं आप आते हो, आप पार्टी को डिफेंड करते हो, आपका काम है, बहुत अच्छी बात है. मैं आपकी पार्टी की केयर से ही कह रहा हूँ ये बात. अगर कुछ बात हो रही है तो उसको एक्नॉलेज. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि जो आपने अच्छी चीजें की हैं वो नहीं हुई हैं. कुछ अच्छी चीजें जरूर हुई हैं. ऑफ कोर्स 10 years इज अ लॉन्ग टाइम. कुछ तो अच्छा हुआ ही होगा. बट इफ देयर आर some worrying signs for every politician. What is the strength of BJP? They always had ear to the ground. They know फटाफट वो ठीक करते हैं. ये कैसे हो रहा है, पब्लिक को नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है, ये चीज अच्छी लग रही है, ये ऐसे करते हैं. So वो उसमें बताने का, you don't become an opposer, you don't become enemy, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है. जब अगर ऐसा कल्चर बन जाता है कि तारीफ करो नहीं तो you are going to the other side. ये कैसे मैम बताओ कैसे?
In the interest of fairness, I'm going to give Sanju Verma an opportunity to respond. Chetan Bhagat saying, I'm giving you a temperature check. I'm an analyst. I'm observing the situation. I'm not doing this for personal gain. Let Sanju Verma respond.
Yeah, I just want to say, Chetan Bhagat, a couple of things to him. आपने कहा मैं बेस्ट सेलर हूँ, मुझे इतना पैसा दिया जा रहा है, आज भी लोग मेरे पीछे पड़े हुए हैं कि भाई आप कब किताब लिखोगे, blah blah blah. I can sit here and say, anyone who knows India's stock markets, anyone who's been an investment banker for the longest time, and was not just a pseudo investment banker for 2 or 3 years, knows who Sanju Verma is. I was the highest paid executive. I've made so much wealth for myself by way of ESOPs. I don't need to work anymore. But anyway, this is not about Chetan Bhagat versus Sanju Verma. What I pay by way of taxes, maybe you just get paid by way of royalties. But बात करते हैं मुद्दे की. मुद्दे की बात ये है, I always say It's not about Modi versus Rahul or BJP versus Congress alone. When you're sitting on a national television debate and that to Rahul Kanwal, whose show is widely watched, you have to speak the hard facts. Rahul Gandhi ne aaj kya bar bola? Just 30 seconds I will take. He keeps saying this over and over and over again. OBC, Dalits और आदिवासीज के लिए कुछ नहीं किया बीजेपी ने. OBC, Dalits, आदिवासीज की तो हालत खराब है. So let me tell you that today Vishnu Deo Sai, छत्तीसगढ़ के चीफ मिनिस्टर बीजेपी के, he's a tribal. Arun Sao, the deputy CM of Chhattisgarh, is an OBC. Again, Madhya Pradesh CM Mohan Yadav is an OBC. The deputy CM of Madhya Pradesh, Jagdish Devda, is a Dalit. Again, the deputy CM of Rajasthan, Prem Chandra Bairwa, is a Dalit. But I want to say one thing to you, Rahul. Sitaram Kesri was an OBC. He was thrown out by Sonia Gandhi. B.R. Ambedkar was a Dalit and treated shabbily by Nehru and had to resign from Nehru's cabinet because of shabbily being treated. And then we have Babu Jagjeevan Ram. He was a Dalit.
Ma'am, you made your point. I also have other guests and I want to go across to them as well. Listen, we're not taking any sides. We're just trying to unpack what's being discussed and spoken of quite commonly. And I want to go across now to Rajat Sethi. Now, here's the proposition. Someone like a Chetan Bhagat, I'm not personalizing this, but someone like a Chetan Bhagat was in the past seen as a supporter of the Modi government, somebody who thought that this was the right man at the right place. Now seems to think that Rahul Gandhi is rising. He's accepting the good work that Prime Minister Modi has done, but he's saying that the BJP is now disconnected, that people in the middle class have been writing against this budget. He's finding a receptive audience. As somebody who's worked in BJP campaigns, how are you looking, without getting personal, that's not the idea, how are you looking at this pivot from being so seen as being so pro-Modi to now saying, okay, this guy is no longer Pappu, he's making these khatakhat comments and they're connecting?
See, I agree with you. There is no point in attacking the messenger. What is important is to look and understand the message that messenger is bringing here, Chetan is bringing. What needs to be unpacked, and I agree with some of his observations. First of all, the hard fact is that BJP is still 15% ahead of the Congress party, one-on-one. Swinging 1% of vote from one side to the other side takes gigantic efforts. I can tell you based on my experience of running campaigns. Then, therefore, bridging the gap of 15% is monumental challenge before the Congress party, in spite of all the likes and all the views that they are garnering over YouTube, number one. Number two, governance is always boring. You have to defend at times the indefensible. That is the nature of governance because of the constraints that you operate in. विपक्ष की राजनीति होती है. You know, you can oppose the government on everything that is out there because you don't have to rule the government, right? You're sitting in the opposition. Criticism is fairly easy. Look at what is the model of governance that is put up by Rahul Gandhi and his representatives in respective states. Pick up the state of Karnataka. The state of Karnataka has been rendered largely bankrupt. The politics of Karnataka has been rendered into that perfect zero-sum game where you're pitting the locals against people who have gone into that to build up the state and the country together. You have put it up one community versus the other. The same goes in Telangana. Now you are giving up examples after examples which are not meeting the expectations that you are putting forth before the public in a rather theaterized manner in the parliament. My problem is that why does Rahul Gandhi not pick one state and say that this is one state that I am going to govern by the model that I am trying to represent through my talks? Make that a model state. Try and,
those
implement
caste surveys. He will
not be able to do caste surveys in Maharashtra. He's sitting, by the way, on the caste survey in Karnataka. Why does he not have the guts to go out and roll reservations along the caste lines or even release the caste survey in the state of Karnataka?
Those are strong counters, and I want Chetan Bhagat to respond because you're challenging the premise of what Chetan is saying. Talk is cheap, governance is boring. You know, being in the opposition is always exciting and glamorous. You can say what you want. It's much tougher to actually fix the system, which is what Prime Minister Modi is trying to do. Rahul Gandhi has nothing to show in terms of a model state. Look at Karnataka, look at Telangana and how their fiscal situation is deteriorating. So he's just making tall claims, and making tall claims are easy. He's got no active model to actually demonstrate what he can do if it were to come down to that.
That is probably correct. That is probably correct. It's more fun to be in the opposition. The India Alliance should be really thankful. They didn't come to power. Otherwise, they had no idea. कौन बनेगा? कौन क्या करेगा? कैसे काम चलेगा? देश कैसे चलाएंगे? इतना सोचा ही नहीं था कि हम जीत ही जाएंगे. So they are very lucky that they get to sit in the opposition and comment. It's fun to comment, right? And it's harder to govern. But you know what? This is exactly what happened to UPA too. They were saying the exact same thing. Every day, Kapil Sibal used to come, and so many other people from the Congress who were in power then used to come and say, "अरे यार हम चला रहे हैं ना, हमसे पूछो कितना मुश्किल है चेंज करना ये करप्शन." नहीं आप कल तक खत्म करो, अगले हफ्ते तक करप्शन खत्म हो जाना चाहिए इंडिया में. ये होता था ना कि नहीं होता था. So this is finally the thing is he is learning, and Rahul Gandhi is trying to pick up some of these tricks and trying to use his position to gain, because he can sell hope. And this is third term for the government. For them, it's all about, okay, now show us.
Chetan counters by saying this is what opposition leaders do. They build hope. In some ways, the UPA too also, the issue is, in his previous term, Prime Minister Modi seemed to have an air of invincibility. Rahul Gandhi is now trying to puncture that. Do you think to some extent that is succeeding? How do you respond to what Rajat is saying?
So what Chetan just said, around 2012, 2013, when, Prime Minister Modi was then the chief minister and rising figure politically, he had a credible experience of 10 years of running and actually beating every single state in the rest of the country. So he was coming with an alternative model to what was being challenged.
Rahul has no alternate model which is proven. How do we know he can govern? Chetan Bhagat, respond to Rajat's concern.
We don't know, but he'll say, give me a chance.
But you already have chances. He already has chances in the states. What is he doing in the states? He has chance. Pick one state, make it a model state. Instead, you are making a model state into a garbage state. Karnataka has now...
Karnataka was hardly ever a model state. Rajat, I'm sure you don't believe that.
Rajat, you've actually given a pretty good suggestion. That's exactly what the BJP did. They said Gujarat is a model state. We'll put the Gujarat model all over the country. But you are absolutely right. If that's a pretty good advice to Congress, that they should actually demonstrate.
Speaking of that,
let me go. They will have to. At some point,
let me go across to Rajiv Desai, who's worked on Congress campaigns going back to the 80s. Mr. Desai, Chetan Bhagat and Rajat Sethi both arguing, talk is cheap. You can say what you want, and it sounds aggressive, and you get some likes and you get some clicks. But the Congress at this moment has no model state. You had Karnataka, and we're seeing the mess unravel in Karnataka, from the Muda scam to the SC/ST scam. It's really a mess. You can say what you want, but the Congress hasn't in any state demonstrated they can govern better than the BJP. Rajiv Desai.
Well, first of all, I think Chetan Bhagat made some really stupendous points. He was pretty clear and pretty articulate, and I think what everybody would do well to listen to what he has to say. That's number one. Number two, as far as Rahul Gandhi's performance in Parliament, I think he made several points. If I can sort of interpret them, he said, first, this government doesn't know what it's doing on the economic front. B, this government is staying in power by sowing divisive seeds of religion, seeds of caste, seeds of geography, seeds of everything, and staying in power by that. Now, also remember that Mr. Modi had claimed that he'd get 400 seats, but forget 400. They lost even more seats than they had. So,
no, but that's one way of looking at it. 10 years later, if you end up at 240, net, it's a very commendable showing. 10 years after being in power, the Congress crashed to a fourth. No, I'm just saying, I'm just stating the data for what it is.
No, you're not stating any data.
Rajiv Desai, calm down on the aggression. I'm saying for any party to get 240 seats after being in power for 10 years, compare that to where the UP ended up 10 years of being in power.
To where it does not have enough seats on its own to form a government. That's all I said. Now, what is there to argue about in that? Unless you're a spokesman. So the fact is that they lost seats. They are not in no position to form a government on their own. They have to deal with two rather, shall I say, allies who are not somewhat reluctant, somewhat demanding, whatever. So it's not all, cream cheeses here. So they have to try and understand now, this is where the problem is, that they've never learned the art of accommodation. They've never learned the art of listening. So they're in trouble. And they've gone down to 240 seats or whatever it is. And Rahul is going after that. And I think that's more power to him. I think as the opposition leader, he has all the right to do that. And I think it would do well for us to just listen to what he had to say. You don't have to agree with it, but you can listen. At least there's a different viewpoint. That viewpoint, as somebody else noted, was never heard before. Now it's had to be heard.
Okay.
People have to listen.
Now, Sanjay
I wasn't talking.
Okay, I want to go across to Sanjay.
I wasn't talking to. I haven't finished.
Okay, go on.
So and acknowledge that you've lost a huge chunk of your support in terms of parliament seats, that you are no longer the commander of everything you see, that you have to make adjustments for different views, different etc. And you may even have to consult the opposition because you don't know how to govern. You don't know economics for sure, because the economy is a complete
please don't make
no matter what
irresponsible
anybody
statements.
says. Everybody.
Okay. Now, Sanjay Jha, I want you to
world,
respond to two things. What you're hearing from
all
Chetan Bhagat and also what we heard from Rahul Gandhi in Parliament. The BJP's charge is Rahul's trying to divide India. Instead of trying to unify, be mature, be sensible, he's saying these things, he's getting claps and clicks for it, but essentially it's trying to divide India along caste lines. Sanjay Jha.
Rahul, that's a preposterous charge. It's laughable, it's ridiculous, it's absurd, it's atrocious, it's ludicrous. Now, that answers your question. Let's not even waste time in BJP's rather crude and extremely misleading rhetoric. Give me 30 seconds and I'll try and answer all the points. I don't need so much of time. Point number one, nobody can deny Rahul Gandhi has been a victim of the most vituperative, vicious campaign of character assassination that any political personality in India has ever faced, at least in my living memory. And I think the Pappufication project is dead and buried. Rahul Gandhi today is the agenda. Rahul Gandhi is the story. Rahul Gandhi is setting the narrative. Let's get real about it. Point number two, it's very rich for the BJP to have ridiculed him in the past and got away with it when you have a prime minister who after 10 years doesn't even have the courage to do a press conference, speaks on a teleprompter. And if you heard his speeches during the election campaign, I have not heard any political leader. I requested Rahul for no interruption. I'm not going to take too long. No political leader made as crude, vulgar speeches as Mr. Modi made. Brands are made by what you do. Brands are made by what you say. Mr. Modi's brand is diminishing fast. And I don't want to get into what's going to happen in the elections. We will see in a couple of months. Point number three. You know why Rahul Gandhi is becoming a rage? I'll tell you why. He's becoming a rage. Trust me. I'm saying so myself when I have very often in the past been critical because he used to go into hibernation. He's taking up issues that are connecting with the people at last. It's not that he was not saying them earlier. Crony capitalism is today hitting the sweet spot in everybody's head and heart. I've seen how one very fancy, big fat wedding is actually an object of memes. Nobody had imagined that around a year ago. Point number two, political power. You know, his whole talk about 2-3 people running the country, I think everybody today is talking about it. Even people who don't know what to talk about democracy and constitution.
No, but maybe these are the people you're speaking to because that's your echo chamber, Sanjay Jha.
No, hang on, let me finish. Point number three. Regulatory power, the capture of institutions, the CBI, ED, income tax, the whole washing machine story has connected. If you hear Rahul today, he's talking about the chakravyuh. He's talking today in a soundbite friendly language that has a potential of amplification. And I think that is exactly what politicians need to do in a society suffering from an acute attention deficit. You know, the bottom line, Rahul, is this. Rahul Gandhi has arrived. Let's not spend any more time
Sanju Verma,
in that confabulation.
The data suggests, for what it's worth, that his social media posts are clicking more than those of others and that there's been a big spike. Sanjay Jha uses that to suggest that Rahul Gandhi has arrived and that the Pappufication project is long dead and buried.
Rahul, I want to say a couple of things. First and foremost, there's a famous saying, I remember as a marketing student by Philip Kotler, that the biggest disservice you can do to a brand is not knowing when it is dead and not taking it off the shelf. And I say that for Rahul Gandhi. You have the likes of a done and dusted Chetan Bhagat. You have the likes of a suspended variety leader called Sanjay Jha, whom his own party does not take seriously. You have the likes of a Rajiv Desai, who's here today, gone tomorrow, sitting here waxing eloquent about the strengths of Rahul Gandhi. So मैं इनको याद दिला दूं. For the first time in 62 years, the incumbent came back to power, and that man is Narendra Modi. When the incumbent or his party lost elections in Brazil, lost elections in United Kingdom, the incumbent lost elections in 2020 in the United States, the incumbent lost elections in Indonesia, Malaysia, what have you. So the first and limited point is Narendra Modi has chosen to buck the trend by doing what none of his global peers managed to do. He's come back romping for the third time in a row as the Prime Minister. The second point, and very important, please don't rush me, Rahul Kanwal.
No,
you keep saying that, puppification of Rahul Gandhi is over. अरे राहुल गांधी जैसे पप्पू को सपोर्ट करने के लिए चेतन भगत, संजय झा जैसे पप्पू आकर यहाँ पर भाषण दे रहे हैं, and you still say Rahul Gandhi has credibility. Narendra Modi does not care whether a Chetan Bhagat writes op-eds for him or not, whether Sanju Verma comes and speaks about Modinomics or not. But Rahul Gandhi ने benchmark इतना low set कर दिया है that despite the fact that the Congress could not touch 100 seats, even after being out of power for 20 long years, that itself shows that brand Rahul is not working on the ground.
Chetan Bhagat, respond to what we are hearing from the BJP spokesperson, that this is the consequence
Rahul,
of the base
effect.
Just 1 second. This is the consequence of the base effect, because expectations from Rahul Gandhi were so abysmally low. Therefore, any resurgence from a very low base seems as if it's a massive turnaround. The comparison ultimately is 240 versus 99, and there is a big gap there. Third time round, Prime Minister Modi is in power and Rahul Gandhi is in the opposition, and after being out of power for 10 years, that's a pretty happy situation for the BJP and should be an unhappy situation for the Congress. Chetan.
Rahul Kanwal, most of the argument of the spokesperson is about making personal attacks on us and how we are trying to be relevant.
I gave a lot of data. I gave a lot of data.
Let him speak. Sanju ji, you've spoken.
Most. आप मेरा भी डेटा, मतलब अब मैं क्या बोलूं? I mean, it's fine. So if we are irrelevant because we are not, अभी praise करो तो relevant, praise ना करो तो irrelevant. Firstly, I don't know, इतना touchy होने की कोई बात है नहीं. The question is some feedback I'm giving. And Sanjay Jha is, of course, defending the Congress and saying this. There is a base effect. There is a lot of advantages. But Rahul has some big disadvantages. I'll tell you the big disadvantages, which nobody has mentioned. He has a big dynasty baggage, which will be played. And the BJP plays it. Some great-grandfather was your first PM. Abhi tak chale ja raha hai. All this, the Ahmad, the Shehzada and all that will there. And all of Congress sins. ऐसा नहीं है ना कि Congress has had a perfect rule. So from emergency to riots, Sikh riots, to all kind of things, corruption scams, Rahul will have to answer them, and they will attack him on that. So there's a lot of, it's not like it's an easy done deal right now for him. There's a lot of work to be done. You're right, he's untested. He, as a PM, he's been around, yes. But at the same time, is there some traction? Ask any social media agency, ask anybody relevant. I don't know who is relevant, anybody who's relevant who's not in the BJP. I would love to know. And you can ask them. So वो बता देंगे. Data of doing good things is fine. Politics perception पे चलता है. जितने मर्जी growth हो जाए, जितने मर्जी numbers हो जाए, ये सच भी हो सकते हैं सारे number. लेकिन ये what people are perceiving. Did you meet my expectations? Did you beat my expectations? Were you below my expectations? And if a certain section, it's a certain section. We are talking 4-5% vote share, right? The base is still intact. There are people in this country who will say, don't give me lunch and dinner, I'm going to vote BJP.
No, but I'm out of time on this conversation. But Sanjay Jha, the point that was made by Rajat Sethi was the 15% gap in vote share at the base. Moving the base on a national basis by 1 or 2% is a monumental task. There's the difference of light and day at this moment in the vote share of the two big national parties. Very quick, to sum this up and wrap it up. Sanjay Jha.
Rahul, I'll tell you why that is an atrocious argument used by the right-wing cheerleaders, because that's exactly what they said before the 2024 elections in Uttar Pradesh, and we saw what happened. Politics is dynamic, Rahul. It changes. The BJP went from 2 to 300. They could be down to 100 seats. I'm going to tell you this right now, that after the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and now as a leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi is a transformed man. He is a transformed man. If there are snap elections ahead of the Lok Sabha today, don't be surprised if the BJP today could be down to 150 seats. I think brands rise up, brands diminish. And I think the bottom line is this, Rahul, that today the attempt of the BJP to humiliate Rahul Gandhi will boomerang against them even more.
Okay, you've had your say. Very quickly, Sanju Verma, 20 seconds, final words.
You know, Rahul, I will again quote the Prime Minister. This is one of the favorite quotes of his that I never get tired of quoting. तुम्हारे पांव के नीचे जमीन नहीं है, लेकिन कमाल तो ये है, तुम्हें यकीन नहीं है. Narendra Modi is leading the country for third time running. And look at the audacity of the Congress. Despite not being able to win 100 seats in 3 Lok Sabha elections consecutively, with Sanjay Jha types having a nice big omelette on their face, they are still dreaming in La La Land and hallucinating कि पप्पू को प्रधानमंत्री बनेगा.
So you've had your time. Very quick final words from Rajat Sethi. Do you conceive he's a transformed man? Are you shocked by some of the transformation, or do you think it's all hawa mein?
I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. There are some early signs, especially from the Gen Z, which should alarm the BJP. BJP needs to communicate differently to the people to the youngsters who have not seen the UPA days. They don't have any frame to compare with. And I agree with Chetan here that the communication strategy of the BJP, the social media strategy of the BJP has to evolve with time. It has to be more dynamic. It has to be, it has to come out of its mold that it is stuck in, which is almost a decade-old mold. New molds, fresher people, young people should come in and try and give more freshness to the entire positioning of the party.
You're saying the party needs to hold a mirror to itself. This is what debates should do. Spark debate, have a fierce back and forth, which is what Chetan's comments have done. You've heard different sides. As always on the News Track, I don't take sides. I leave my opinion outside the studio when I walk in. I try as best as possible to go around asking, analyzing and dissecting perspectives put out by our experts. Chetan Bhagat gets set to get trolled. You're gonna have a big troll army coming your way.
अभी relevant होना है, राहुल अभी relevant होना है. मैम ने कहा है अभी और करो मेहनत और अच्छा लिखो. और लिखेंगे मैम, कोशिश करेंगे मैम.
Rahul, today Rajat Sethi has been the proverbial
अरे अपने ही सपोर्टर को आप अगेंस्ट कर दोगे तो कैसे होगा संजू जी? This is going to be a problem.
अच्छा टाइट रोकवॉक किया है. I'm complimenting him. रजत ने बहुत बढ़िया टाइट रोकवॉक किया है.
Rahul, a comment on Chetan. His book, Two States, The Story of My Marriage, is one of my favorite books. It's entertaining, it's funny, and every married person at some point will empathize with what he wrote in the book. That is one of my
BJP को compliment कर रहे हो तब तो नहीं आपने बोला, अब बोल रहे हो.
Well, I have disagreed with Chetan politically in the past during the time of the Anna Hazare agitation, which Chetan will now know, and he knows it was an RSS-sponsored one. So maybe I was right in retrospect. But the truth is, as far as this book writing is concerned, Two States remains one of the most entertaining books that anybody can read.
Thank you very much to all our guests for joining us. Now we'll let this play itself out on social media, across digital. You've heard what our participants have to say. As always, I leave it to you to have your opinion on what you've heard from them. The probe into the apathy at Delhi's Rao IAS Academy is intensifying. MCD officials using bulldozers dismantled illegal encroachments around the coaching center. Owner Abhishek Gupta and coordinator Deshpal Singh are now in 14 days of judicial custody, and 5 others have been arrested. In a surprising twist, the police have arrested an SUV driver for driving on a flooded street, accusing him of damaging the iron gate. 2 MCD officials have also been arrested. This is where we wrap up the News Track tonight. I look forward to seeing you at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye, good night. News Today is up next.